shadow falls. A crow masked lad who answers war's calls with iron will and the business mind. The finest weapons you will ever find.
He wears a mask of steel, but it's not hiding fear. It's hiding control inside the mind of Destro. James McCullen Destro the 24th is not your typical villain. To understand Destro, you have to understand one thing first. He didn't choose this life. The McCullen family built a weapons empire that spans generations. War, industry, power, all passed down like inheritance. And with that inheritance came expectation, intergenerational identity formation. It's when a person's sense of self is shaped not by personal desire, but by family legacy. We see it in royal bloodlines, military dynasties, old world industrial empires. And in the real world, families like the Krupps of Germany built their fortune the same way Destro did, by supplying weapons across conflicts, sometimes to both sides. And that's where Destro becomes something more than just a villain, because he operates within a contradiction. He sells the tools of war, but lives by strict moral code. He honors contracts. He values loyalty. He despises chaos. In psychology, this is called moral compartmentalization. The ability to function in morally gray or even dark environments while maintaining a personal code that justifies your actions. Destro doesn't see himself as the cause of conflict. He sees himself as part of a system. A supplier, a stabilizer, a necessary force. And that mindset isn't fictional. Modern defense contractors operate in a similar psychological space. They don't think in terms of good versus evil. They think in terms of contracts, strategy, and the balance of power. But what truly separates Destro is control. Emotional control, behavioral control, strategic control. Where others react, he calculates. Where others lose composure, he becomes more precise. This level of restraint is often seen in elite military leadership. People trained to suppress emotion in favor of execution. And yet, that control comes with a cost. Because when you suppress emotion long enough, you don't eliminate it, you contain it. Destro is not emotionless. He's controlled. And nowhere is that more visible than in his relationship with the Baroness. With her, we see something rare. Not a weakness, but trust. In a world built on betrayal, trust is the most dangerous risk a person like Destro can take. Because the more controlled you are, the more devastating it becomes when that control is broken. Another defining trait of Destro is his relationship with honor. Not morality. Honor. There's a distinct difference. Morality is what's right and what's wrong. Honor is about code and reputation. Destro doesn't need to be seen as good, but he must be seen as consistent. This places him closer to figures in organized crime than traditional villains. Yakuza leaders, mafia bosses, individuals who operate outside the law but within a strict internal code. Loyalty is everything. Reputation is currency. And betrayal is unforgivable. Destro would understand these men. And more importantly, he would respect them. Because for Destro, identity is not flexible. It is fixed. If his honor is compromised, he doesn't just lose status. He loses himself. That's what makes him psychologically stable. And incredibly fragile at the same time. Now compare that to Cobra Commander. Cobra Commander is driven by insecurity, by ego, by the need to control through dominance. Destro doesn't need to dominate. He already knows who he is. One is chaos pretending to be order. The other is order forced to operate inside that chaos. And that's why Destro feels believable. Because history has produced men very much like him. Not identical, but close. Take the Krupp family of Germany, an industrial dynasty whose name became synonymous with steel, artillery, and weapons manufacturing. Sound familiar? For generations, they armed nations and shaped wars from behind factory walls. To the outside world, they were merchants of destruction and death. To themselves, they were builders, patriots, heirs to a family responsibility. Now look at certain modern defense executives. Men who don't command armies, but influence conflicts through contracts, technology, and supply chains. They speak in calm language, quarterly reports, strategy meetings, national security. But the products they move can shape the fate of nations. That mindset is pure Destro. And then there are figures from organized crime, particularly old-school mafia or Yakuza leadership. Men who operated outside the law, yet inside a strict personal code. Honor, loyalty, reputation. They may break society's rules, but never their own. That contradiction lives at the center of Destro's personality. Even certain military commanders reflect part of him. Leaders known for emotional discipline, for staying calm while everyone else panics. Because Destro's greatest weapon was never a rifle or a missile. It was composure. So when we ask who Destro is based on, the answer is not one man. He's a composite, part industrial heir, part strategist, part underworld codekeeper, part aristocrat. A fictional villain built from very real human archetypes. And that's why Destro feels so real, because history is filled with men like him. Industrialists who armed nations, leaders who separated emotion from decision, operators who lived by codes the outside world would never fully understand. The difference is, Destro doesn't pretend. He knows exactly what he is. A man of legacy, a dealer of war, a strategist bound by honor in a world that has none. And in the end, the most dangerous enemy isn't the loudest one in the room. It's the one who never loses control. This has been Inside the Minds. Destro. I appreciate the watch time. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time in the dungeon.
From the islands, a shadow falls. A crow masked lad who answers war's calls. With iron will and the business mind, the finest weapons you will